Hello everyone, this is Jake from CINECALIBER. In today's review, I will be covering episode 7 of the new season of House of the Dragon. I apologize for the delay in these reviews, as at this time of the release of the video, House of Dragon has ended officially, but I wanted to get all my thoughts and reactions out for the remainder of the season of House of Dragon. Now, this will be, like I said, my 7th review, and there will be links in the description below for other reviewers if they want to check those out. So that would be reviews for episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is also one of my most anticipated shows of the 2024 year, and if anyone wants to check out those, there will be a link in the description below the video for that as well. And we're going to kind of get into it here, guys. We're going to do a slight recap of episode 6 before we get into the review of episode 7. So basically, first, what I noticed was a big part of episode 6 that kind of ties into this episode was Rhaenyra. She was attempting to gain advantage in the war by finding more dragon riders for some of the dragons she possesses, but that the attempt had gone wrong in the last episode until Sea Smoke went out and bonded with Adam of Hull, who has been a side character since before now. And he's basically the bastard son of Corlys Velaryon, which we, again, will see ramifications of that whole dynamic in this episode. At the same time, Aemon had started making some aggressive decisions in the last episode, such as forging a march to Harrenhal and aligning with the Triarchy to snuff out the blockade by Corlys. And then, of course, kicking out his mother, Alicent, from the small council, and then also requesting Otto Hightower return his hand to the king against the wishes of a plotting Larry Strong, who works to get Aegon healed enough to reclaim the throne. We also had Daemon, who continues to struggle with the Riverlands and seeks guidance from Alice Rivers on how to approach the situation, which remains to be seen what her plans are for helping him, and he continues to be haunted by visions at Harrenhal that seem to question his decisions as well. And then we also had a bit more of an exploration of the characters Alan and Adam. As I said, they become a bit more prominent in the last episode, with Alan becoming first mate to Corlys and Adam becoming a dragon rider by bonding with Sea Smoke. And then we also got another look at Hugh Hammer, who continues to suffer from the lockdown at King's Landing. And we also get another look at Ulf, another Targaryen bastard who we haven't seen since the 3rd episode of the season. We'll get into that as well. We also had Rhaena, who uncovers the fact that there was a wild dragon loose at the Eyrie, which Lady Jane Eyre lied about. So we'll see how that develops here, basically. But that's the recap, guys. We're going to get into the review of episode 7 now. We're going to go into what was a hit, the good, what I liked about this episode. So I'm enjoying the dragon bonding storyline a lot in this season. Arguably, it's the strongest story arc of the episode. We get to see Rhaenyra uncover that Adam was chosen by Sea Smoke as his rider, which makes her realize that perhaps she will need to look at the bastard line of the Targaryens to get the rider she seeks, which causes a conflict with her council and her son Jace, who is also a bastard, but unofficially, basically. This all forms for me into some terrific storytelling as Rhaenyra navigates these conflicts to try and gain an advantage in the war. So she's dealing with conflicts internally as she tries to make the right decisions. I thought it's really good character developing for her in this episode. And then one of my criticisms from the last episode, and really for the whole season, we get to see the characters that have been put to the side get a more prominent role in this episode, such as Adam, Hugh Hammer, and Ulf. With the reveal that Adam has bonded with the dragon, Rhaenyra now offers an opportunity for other bastards and we discover that Hugh is indeed a bastard, as the son from the daughter of King Jaehaerys, which was Viserys and Daemon's father. There's a sequence where we get to see Vermithor, one of the largest dragons that the Targaryens have, go on a killing spree to ultimately choose Hugh as his rider, which is a huge moment not only for the character, but also for Rhaenyra's war plans, as she needs more dragons to combat Vhagar. And then at the same time, we also get Ulf. He gets a shot to bond with a dragon, too, as Vermithor chases him down deep into the Dragon Cave on Dragonstone, where he then bonds with Silverwing, another large dragon. And it was great to see his character get the spotlight after only being sprinkled in the season. So, we also had Damon. He had a decent arc in this episode as he starts to turn the tide into his favor with this episode. We discover that Alice Rivers secretly had killed Lord Grover Tully, who runs the Riverlands, and his son Oscar now is a boy, but Damon can basically manipulate him to unite the Riverlands. I enjoyed Oscar Tully's debut as he spoke to Damon like a savage, and it reminded me a bit of Catelyn Stark, who was a Tully before marrying Ned. We get a great scene of dialogue when the Riverlords meet with Oscar and Damon to discuss the alliance, and it's a suspenseful moment as Damon is forced into making a bloody decision to gain the Riverlords' favor, but that things are starting to look up for him, and his character continues to be haunted by visions that reflect his inner demons. To me, like I said, it's been a great character exploration for Damon this season, showing a more vulnerable side of him than we get in season 1. It remains to be seen what he will do once the Riverlords align with him, though. But we'll get into that as in this last episode coming up here. On the Team Green side of things, Larys continues to maneuver against Aemon's rule as he snuffs the rumor of Adam bonding with a dragon, and also secretly having Aegon work on his recovery quicker. He truly is the master manipulator in this series, and I'm enjoying his character almost as much as Littlefinger's in Game of Thrones. The characters to me have been very similar. And then finally, we do get a bit more of Rhaena as she and the other Targaryen kids are escorted to another location for safety, but she then takes the moment to sneak off to find the loose dragon, which to me seems like she is trying to bond with the dragon since she failed to bond with one in the last season. So we will see how that develops. But that was really all. That was a hit for me, guys. Now I'm going to get into what was a miss. Really, it's just been the pacing in some of these episodes. It does seem a little bit off. There's a moment where Allison basically just goes to the Kingswood to just float in a river. It seems like they use this to kind of show her struggles with being ousted, but to me it served no purpose whatsoever, character-wise or story-wise. It just felt like a very filler scene. But other than that, that was the only criticism I had. Overall, this was a solid episode, and it built off heavily from all the events that happened in episode 6. And that's going to go into my conclusion. Despite some sluggish character writing, this was a very decent penultimate episode. We got to see the recurring characters that had been popping up throughout the season, such as Adam, Hugh, and Ulf, finally become prominent. And we get to see some more great dragon moments, which is always a delight in this show. They definitely have delivered on giving us some really good dragons, I will say that. But yeah, the continued storytelling and the character building have made the narrative this season a fun ride. And I rate this episode a 4.5 out of 5. I liked it that much. I think it's arguably one of the strongest episodes of the season, and I think it sets up for what looks to be a decent season finale. But I will talk about that in my next review. As always, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And this is Jake from CINECALIBER.